All right, let's talk about professional turf managers. It's this incredibly high stakes game. Your whole business, really, your reputation, it all hinges on delivering perfect turf.
Yeah, absolutely. Season after season. And there's just zero room for error. It's constant pressure.
It really is. So, how do you even manage that?
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain a bit. We're looking at some cutting edge stuff that's really changing how turf management is done.
That's right. The sources we looked at, they paint a pretty fascinating picture. It's all about how, you know, advanced fertilizer tech and these integrated programs are redefining what you can actually achieve.
Better turf, basically.
Better turf, yeah, but also healthier, more attractive, functional turf. And importantly, doing it much more efficiently.
We're going to dig into this specific controlled release fertilizer. It's called EPEC.
Hmm.
We want to understand what it is, sure, but also how it actually changes things on the ground for turf managers, especially, with things like labor shortages being such a big deal.
Right, and environmental impact, too. That's a
Oh,
key piece.
definitely. Keeping our planet healthy. So, starting with that challenge, the first big thing we found in the sources is this product, EPIC. What exactly is it? You hear controlled release fertilizer, maybe polymer coated urea. What does that actually mean?
Okay, so EPIC, the interesting thing is how it works. It's got this protective polymer coating around the urea, the nitrogen source.
Like a little jacket.
Sort of, yeah.
Huh.
And this coating, it cleverly controls how the nitrogen gets out. It uses a process called diffusion. Think of it like a membrane with tiny, tiny pores.
Okay.
As the soil warms up and the plant starts needing nutrients, these pores kind of expand just slightly, and that lets the nitrogen seep out.
So it's temperature dependent.
Exactly.
Okay.
Temperature and the plant's own demand signal trigger it. It's like a slow drip feeder, perfectly timed. And this intelligent release, it's really vital because it stops all that nitrogen from being lost too quickly. The plant gets what it needs, precisely when it needs it.
That sounds, well, incredibly efficient compared to just, spreading standard fertilizer. So, for the manager out there, what are the real tangible benefits? What makes this a game changer for them?
Well, it really boils down to three key things. You can
Ah.
call them the three E's.
Hmm.
It's efficient, it's economical, and it's environmentally responsible.
Okay, let's break those down. Efficient.
Efficient because, well, nitrogen on its own doesn't hang around long in the soil. It's fleeting. But EPIC meters it out, over weeks, sometimes the whole season. So the nutrients are actually there when the plant needs them, not just hitting it all at once.
Right, avoiding that flush of growth.
Exactly. And then economical. Think
Mhm.
about the cost savings. Fewer applications mean less labor, less fuel for transport, less wear and tear on your spreaders.
Makes sense.
Plus, you're losing far less nitrogen to the environment, so you're actually getting more bang for your buck from the fertilizer itself. That adds up significantly on the bottom line.
And the environmental part.
That polymer coating, it's crucial here. It protects the nitrogen from just, well, disappearing. It reduces loss from volatility, turning into gas or leaching, washing down through the soil with rain.
Or denitrification underground.
Right, or even running off into streams and ponds. So it's just a much more responsible way to deliver nitrogen.
So, tying this all together, the big takeaway isn't just that it's better fertilizer, it's that it lets managers shift their whole approach, doesn't it? From constantly reacting and applying to something more proactive.
Precisely, it's like moving to this almost hands-off precision nutrient delivery system. It fundamentally changes the daily grind. The promise is consistent, reliable, precise feeding.
And importantly, less risk of those problems like surge growth or, worse, fertilizer burn.
Yeah, definitely less risk of that.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting from what I saw. EPIC isn't just one single product, is it? The sources talked about different longevities. What's that about, and how does it help the turf manager?
Yeah, that versatility is pretty impressive, actually. EPIC comes in different formulations, designed to release nutrients over specific time frames, specific longevities. This gives managers huge control.
So, like what? What are the options?
Well, there's a 60-day option. That's good for targeted feeding during specific parts of the growing season. It's often used as a replacement for things like PCSCU or stabilized nitrogen.
Okay.
Then there's a 90-day longevity for sustained nutrition over a longer chunk of the season. Go up from there, you've got a 120-day option, great for turf types or situations with longer growing cycles, really cuts down on application trips.
Right.
And then there's even a 180-day option. That gives you consistent, reliable feeding for up to 6 months.
6 months. Wow. And the real power comes when you start blending these, right? That seems to be the key strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Blending different longevities is where the magic happens for efficiency. You can tailor a mix that provides sustained release over the exact period you need.
So you could potentially make far fewer trips to a property, but still give the turf everything it needs for that perfect look customers demand.
That's the goal. Fewer applications, same or even better results. This sustained release works because you combine longevities, and it's all regulated, remember, by soil temperature and the coating thickness on the granules.
And you mentioned a baseline temperature.
Yeah, the typical release rates are based on an average soil temp of around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So, it adjusts naturally with the season.
Okay, so that's the fertilizer tech, but the sources also connected EPEC to broader turf care needs. They mentioned something called Award Turf Fertilizer. What's that about?
Right, Award Turf Fertilizer is about streamlining things even further. It cleverly combines pesticides with the fertilizer, so one application does two jobs.
That's a huge time saver for turf pros. What kind of pesticides are we talking about?
It features two main active ingredients. First is Dimension. That gives you season-long crabgrass control, and it also suppresses some other annual grasses and broadleaf weeds. Plus, it has a nice, wide application window.
Okay, crabgrass control, got it. And the second?
The second is chlorantraniliprole. You might recognize this as acelepryn or Durantis. Now, the EPA recognizes this one as a reduced-risk pesticide. It provides season-long control of grubs and also controls labeled surface and subsurface feeders.
So crabgrass and grubs, taken care of in one pass with the fertilizer. That sounds efficient.
It is, and the key benefits highlighted were, that season-long control, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, because of the specific chemistries, it has a low environmental impact, less risk to beneficial insects and other non-target organisms.
And effective.
Yeah, the data showed improved efficacy compared to some competing products. And importantly, it's available with that enhanced efficiency fertilizer technology we've been talking about, like EPEC. So it all ties together.
Okay, so we have these really advanced products, smart fertilizers, combined products. Let's pivot now to that huge industry challenge. Labor. Shortages are everywhere. What does all this tech mean for businesses just struggling to find enough people?
This is where it gets really practical. EC Grow, the company behind EPEC, has developed what they call labor-efficient programs, or LEPs, and these directly tackle that labor crunch.
How so?
By using these long-lasting components, the insecticides like chlorantraniliprole, herbicides like Dimension, and the extended feeding from EPEC, these programs let businesses meet customer expectations, maintain high-quality turf, but do it with potentially fewer staff hours.
Okay, so the core idea of these LEPs, the sources said they can cut the number of fertility applications potentially in half.
That's the headline, yeah. Think about a standard program, maybe 3, 4, 5 applications a year. With an LEP strategy, that might become just 2 or 3 applications.
Wow. What does that actually do for a business day to day?
Well, the benefits are pretty clear. First, obviously, reduced labor needs. You maximize the time your existing staff has. Teams can cover more ground or do more with the same number of people.
Okay, less time spreading fertilizer.
Right, which leads to the second benefit, time savings. That time isn't just saved, it's freed up. Now crews have time for other things, maybe higher value services like detailed property inspections, spot spraying weeds, adding soil amendments, aeration, things that might get skipped when you're just trying to keep up with basic fertilizing.
So it allows for better overall care, potentially.
Potentially, yes. And the third benefit is actually healthier turf. Delivering nutrients efficiently over time, like EPEC does, means better uptake by the plant and less of that unwanted surge growth. So it's not just about doing less work.
It's about working smarter.
Exactly. Leveraging technology to achieve more with less. It really flips the script on efficiency, especially when labor is tight. It's that classic less is more idea, but actually playing out in turf care.
Did the sources give concrete examples of what these programs look like?
They did. For instance, you could have a single application program for the entire season. That would typically use about 95% controlled release nitrogen, maybe blended with your pre-emergent herbicide and grub control, all in one shot. Or a common one is a 2-application program. Maybe the first one in spring gives you 4 months of fertility plus the Dimension, chlorantraniliprole. Then a second application in late summer or early fall provides another 3 months of feeding.
Okay, 2 trips instead of 4 or 5.
Right. Or a 3-application model. Maybe a spring feed with pre-emergent, a summer feed with grub control, and then a fall feed. Still fewer trips than traditional approaches.
So it gives businesses real flexibility to design programs that fit their region, their clients, and their labor situation.
Absolutely. Tailoring is key. And the results, well, they actually support this approach. They mentioned the 2021 University of Illinois trials run by Dr. Bruce Branham. They measured turf quality on a 1 to 9 scale.
And what do they find?
Well, the program with 3 applications scored a 7.4 for turf quality. The single application program scored 7.2. 2 applications scored 7.2.
Okay, all pretty good scores.
Very good. But here's the kicker. The traditional 5 application program scored slightly lower. It's 6.8.
Really? So fewer applications actually resulted in slightly better looking turf in that trial.
In that specific trial, yes. It clearly shows that thanks to these advanced technologies, you can often get improved turf quality with fewer visits. It really challenges that old way of thinking that just doing more applications automatically means better turf.
That's fascinating. Less input, potentially better output.
It really shifts the perspective. So just to recap then, what we're seeing here is a really comprehensive value proposition. These innovations combine the hard science of nutrient release with very practical solutions for things like pest control and, crucially, labor management.
It's about enabling turf professionals to work smarter, achieve excellent results, and navigate those tough operational challenges.
Definitely. It's fundamentally changing the playbook.
So, considering everything we've dug into today, it really makes you think, doesn't it? How might these kinds of advancements in turf management really change how we view the future of landscape care overall? Not just, the efficiency or the economics, which are obviously important, but also how we approach environmental stewardship, the actual health and resilience of our green spaces, and maybe even, the role and skills needed for the people working in this industry. It's definitely something to chew on.